So, what was my biggest motivation for getting weight loss surgery? You're looking at it right here. These three. My son, who's now 20, my daughter, who's 17, and my littlest one, who's 7. They were my motivation. They were what I looked at every day and felt like I was letting them down. Because my son was struggling with identity issues. My daughter is worrying because she doesn't know if she's going to end up just like me, even though right now, being a gymnast, she's has an awesome body. But I think she worried. She looked at me and she worried. And I needed to show them that if something isn't working, you take charge and you make it happen. Hang on, I'm going to switch views. I'll be right back. Okay, so I'm back now. And I showed you the picture of my 3 kids. And that is what motivated me. That is what, I don't know what exact point I hit. I think it was just an over again and again. Okay, this is for you, Sleeve Singer. That's Miss Lollipop saying hi to you. She wants to say hi to your Nyla. Nyla? Did I get the right name? And she would love to come play with your Nyla. So here she is. She had to come say hi. She came over to talk to me. And now she must go play. So anyways, that was my little blurb just for you, Sleep Singer. But I wanted to respond to, to your video, because I think it's really a good point right now for me to do this, because at 6 months out, I am starting to feel changes happening, shifts happening, things are shifting. It could easily shift the wrong way. And if we lose our motivation and we start to forget where we started, then we're not going to take it all the way. And Bridget, BJW, 1965, I think, she also, this is also kind of in response to her too, and her talking about how to prepare yourself for this surgery, because I think so many people do come into this surgery not prepared, not researching, not realizing what changes need to happen long term for success to happen. And if we forget where we started, we're not going to get there. We're not going to be prepared. So I think this is a good time to bring up what got us here. What was that breaking point? What was that point that we just said, I have to do this? Everybody hits a point of desperation before you come to decide on removing 80% of your stomach in order to lose weight. For me, being 46, I guess I feel like I was running out of time. Was it Sasha LaRue said that? Miss Sasha LaRue said that, her response to this tag. She said, I feel like I'm running out of time to lose this weight. I don't have the time to figure out how to lose this weight anymore. I've tried it for so long and it's not working. I had to do something drastic, and I had to show my children that you can make things happen. If you're not happy with where you are, you can change it. I think there's a lot of things that my son is struggling with. He's only 5'3", so I think he has a lot of confidence issues. And I wanted to show him that there's things you can change if you want to change. And he struggles with his identity. Who am I? What am I? And, he doesn't necessarily know that, but he needs to be willing to take the risks to find the answers. And how could I say, go find the answers, go try different things, go out and explore? You can do whatever you put your mind to, and you can be whoever you want to be. If I'm sitting there miserable in my body, I just felt like such a hypocrite. So I had to show him. I was like, what's the best way to show our children that we can make changes if things aren't working? We have to do it. We have to show them. We have to do what we preach. We have to practice what we preach. And So it was, that was, I think, my breaking point, is I just kept seeing myself through their eyes. And I think it was probably the final straw was possibly a comment that my middle daughter, who was probably 16 at the time, she just turned 17 in December, made a comment about how fat she was going to be when her gymnastics was over. Because right now, she is this hard body buff girl because she's been doing gymnastics for the last 10 years. But she'll graduate next year, and she only has one more season of high school gymnastics. She's not at the level that she wants to go on in college. So gymnastics is going to end for her by the end of this year. And thus ends the way she's kept herself so in shape all this time. So I'm like, oh my gosh, I have to help her see that it's not her. That a lot of what got me where I was not about the genetics that I was born with. Yeah, there's a big part of it that was genetics. But there was a lot of other things. There were illnesses, there were medications I was on. I was very sick when I was pregnant with my last daughter, and that's what, threw off my metabolism a lot at the end, as far as the final push up over 200. And, and then there's just, my own struggles with food, which hopefully I have not passed on to my children. But we unfortunately pass on a lot of the things we don't want to pass on to our children. But there's no time like the present to make a change and to show your children, listen, this is what you have to do to make things change. It's not going to be easy to change things. It's not going to be easy. I mean, this is the things I watch, especially my daughter doing gymnastics over and over again, is hard work pays off. You got to trust the process. You got to set it in motion, keep working at it, and eventually you'll get there and face your fears. Whatever they are, you have to face your fears. You can be afraid. You can be frustrated, but don't let that stop you from reaching your goals, from living whatever dream you dream of. So I thought this was a good topic, and I wanted to chime in on it. So thanks, AJ, for coming up with that as a topic, because that's a good one. That I think especially all of us that are approaching the 6-month mark, just past the 6-month mark, or somewhere between 6 months and a year, where things start to shift and we start to forget where we were, because we feel so good now, and physically we're like, in a different place. We have to step back and look, where were we and how did we get there? And so we don't let that happen again. We don't fall back in the same little, whatever cycle that got us there in the first place. So we need something to keep us going, something to keep us motivated. And that's what this community does for us, is we all keep coming up with new ideas that it's like, oh, motivate us, keep us going, stop us from making the wrong choices, stop us from giving up, stop us from getting so discouraged that we, turn to food in the wrong way again. So, great topic, wanted to chime in, and I'll talk to you all, I guess. I'll talk to you all next week.